Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have 30 Dollar Tree Easter DIYs for you. Have a little bit of everything in today's video, including an Easter tier tray. Enjoy! For this DIY, I wanted to make an Easter candle. So I'm going to start with a candle holder and one of the flat candle trays from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to put these together and make a really precious Easter candle. The first thing I do is just remove all of the tags. The flat one was really easy compared to this one. And I'm going to use these little wood bunnies from the Dollar Tree. They come 12-piece to a package, so that's a pretty good deal. They already have bunny tails on them, so they're ready to go. I want to attach these all the way around. So I was kind of seeing about how many would fit. And I end up using a total of 8, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and glue one here. And I'm going to make it symmetrical so it'll all be even. So I take the next bunny and I glue it to the opposite side. And I'm making sure my bunny ears are towards the top of the glass so I'll have room to decorate at the bottom. So I just go straight across, and then at 90-degree angle I can put a third one, and then that leaves enough room in between to put one on each side. So a total of 8. So one package of these is definitely going to be enough, and they fit in there just perfectly on this size of the candle holder. If you had a different size, you could always improvise, see what's going to fit on yours. And at first I was going to paint the little bunnies, but I kind of like just the plain wood look of them. And then you would also have to remove all of your bunny tails, so keep that in mind if you want to paint yours. I've used hot glue on the sides of my candles before and never had any trouble with the Gorilla Glue hot glue and the heat of the candle, so they should stay on there just fine. But it basically made a little cage, and all of those little bunny shapes should light up and give me a fun pattern with the bunny shapes. Now for this, I'm going to attach the candle holder to the base. I did this because I want to make like a candle ring to go around it, and this is the easiest way I found to do it. Since I'm doing glass to glass, I'm going to do a strong Gorilla Glue combo with some hot glue. So the hot glue will make it stick now, but the other glue will make it more permanent. I'm going to be using a real candle in this, so I definitely want this to be sturdy. So that's what it looks like so far. Then we're going to do eggs and grass. We're going to use reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree. And check out these cute little foam Easter eggs I found at Dollar General for $1 the other day. I've been a little concerned with Dollar Tree's options lately, so I've been having to branch out a little bit, and Dollar General had some really cute stuff too. Now for the base, I want it to look like there are eggs hidden in the grass for Easter. I'm going to get that look with reindeer moss. I think that's the easiest way. What I'm doing is I'm gluing on the base of the candle holder underneath where the bunny is, almost covering up the very bottom of their feet. But I'm also gluing it to the glass below. And I want it to go all the way around so the whole thing is covered in that mossy grass material, and then we can hide the Easter eggs in it. This turned out so cute. It was really easy to make. Now for the outer edge, you can still see the glass. I would rather you just be able to see the moss. So I'm just going to pull some strips and glue those onto the very edges so everything is covered there except for the little bunny rabbits that you see. Now that I have that all glued on, I can trim it up to make it look a little bit more round here. And now it's time to hide the Easter eggs. Isn't that so cute? I love how this project turned out, and it was really easy to make. These foam eggs are perfect. Now, if you can't find these and you want to use the wood eggs from the Dollar Tree, I think they're about the same size. You could do that, but you would have to paint them. The thing I liked about these is they're not glittery, and they're already the colors of foam that you want them to be. So I just do 2 of each color, rotating them into a pattern like that, blue, yellow, pink, and green. And we're going to pop a Dollar Tree candle in there, just an ivory candle. You really can't find a lot of color variation on this size candle from the Dollar Tree, but I think that will be fine. Pop that in the top, and we have an Easter candle DIY. So cute. I love pastel colors for Easter, and I think the little wood bunnies look so cute here on the side of the candle. What do you guys think about this DIY? This is a really fun one for sure. The only thing about the glass and the hot glue, I noticed after having this in storage in my Florida garage, I did have to repair some of the bunnies because the hot glue came off. So you might want to use a little bit stronger glue since you are gluing to glass. Maybe something like an E6000 or something like that, and maybe put a rubber band around it until it is dry to make it just a little bit more secure on the glass. But I absolutely love how this one turned out. It just really screams Easter to me. So festive and fun. Okay, for the next DIY, I wanted to take one of these little carrot signs from the Dollar Tree and see if we can make a cute little carrot sign with this. And I'm going to use one of the long skinny signs. I'm going to switch it from a horizontal sign just by removing the twine from the back. And we'll just make a new hanger to make this a vertical sign since we're doing a carrot sign. I kind of wanted it to be straight up and down with lots of fun textures. Very kind of farmhouse feel on this one. I just took some more twine, tied a knot, and missed with my staple gun. I do that a lot because I don't want to put my head in the shot. So you guys don't have to look at my head. But then I'm going to tie another knot here on the other side, and I'm stapling through that thick frame so it staples through nicely for a quick little hanger. I love this one with like the ivory background and the wood frame, so that part's perfect. And the carrot doesn't necessarily fit down in there, but it does fit on the frame, so I think we can make it work. Now, I wanted lots of texture on this one, so no painting of the actual carrot sign. We're going to be covering ours with burlap and greenery. Now, these are the synthetic burlap bags from the Dollar Tree. I love these things. They're great for crafting because, as you can see, they kind of have a coating on the back, makes them super easy to cut down, no fraying. You can paint them, do whatever you want, and I want my carrot to be covered with that beautiful burlap texture. So just flipping it over, laying my carrot on the back, I just use an ink pen to draw on that plastic coating on that synthetic burlap. And it's not like a obnoxious like plastic coating on the back. You can still glue it and work with it and stuff like that with Mod Podge. And it's a pretty easy shape to cut out here. I'm just going to cut that burlap down to size. And as you can see, no fraying. My favorite burlap to craft with. And so I want to cover it. I do want to paint it like a carrot, but you know what? We can always do that after we've attached it. So I'm going to do a layer of Mod Podge all over the carrot part of the sign, a little bit medium thickness so that it can support the weight of the burlap fabric that we're adding to it. And I just lay that right on top. Since I do want to paint that right away, I am going to try to speed that up a little bit with a little bit of heat just to help that dry a little bit. So it's not like, going all over the place when I try to paint it. But I like painted burlap. I think it turns out pretty cute. I didn't want anything bright orange. I kind of wanted more of a pastel orange. And so this is the color that I'm going to use. It's like Apricot by Apple Barrel. And I'm just using a brush and just regular acrylic paint. We are going to paint the burlap to make our carrot a nice orange color. Now, if you can see, it's kind of hard to see there. I do have a new thing I'm using for painting. These are called palette paper, and it makes your paint stay wet, makes cleanup easier. I have included them under the paint in my Amazon shop down below if you want to check them out. I think it was like $10 with free shipping, and you get like 200 pieces of it. So I thought I would try them out. I'm liking them so far. So once I get that painted and dried, I'm going to use like a little bit lighter color. I have like a soft orange Posca paint pen to kind of add a little bit of stripes, kind of alternating the sides, just a little bit of a subtle detail and a lighter color, kind of a peachy color. And I thought that would just add a little bit more interest to the carrot. Now for the greenery, I want to use lamb's ear. This is the lamb's ear from Dollar Tree. I love it, and I thought this would be a really fun, fuzzy, like leaf texture for the carrot. So I'm just going to pull the leaves off this. Some of the bigger ones just slide right off. You don't have to do anything but pull. And I'm going to kind of size them according to the greenery here on the carrot to kind of cover it all up. So I'm going to glue this larger one here on this like left leaf, and then kind of space these out. I kind of want them kind of going every direction. And I'm going to kind of cut this first row down to size to make sure everything is rather flat so I can kind of build it out a little bit and make it look like a batch of lambs here at the top of the carrot. And I'm so glad I chose this kind of greenery. I think it turned out really cute. So again, I'm using kind of the larger pieces here to cover the wood parts of the sign. It's going to cover most of it and just kind of gluing it flat. So a total of like 5 of the larger leaves. And then I kind of cut them so everything will kind of fit nice and snug, hot gluing to each other. And then I can use some of the smaller and medium sized leaves here to kind of build it out a little bit, give it a little bit more character. I don't really want any of the stems on any of them, cutting that off. Just want the leaves and kind of piling them by size with like some of the smaller ones here on top and going both directions, just like the ones on the back. I'm going to keep building that out till I get down to the burlap sign and just add a few more pieces until I'm happy with it. Isn't it looking cute so far? I really like this, and it was such an easy little carrot sign to make. And partnering that with the other Dollar Tree sign, it's going to give it a lot of character. So I think that looks nice and full and pretty good. There is a little bit of variation in color. I love the little fuzzy leaves. And then I thought just a little cute, like little bow with twine would be cute where the greenery comes together with the burlap. So I just tied off a simple little bow. Nothing crazy. I'm just going to hot glue that right there where it all kind of comes together. Super cute. Now, the long sign that we prepared before to make a vertical sign doesn't need anything. I love the colors and stuff. It's just a matter of finding a way to glue this to it since it doesn't fit down inside the frame completely. I have some of the wooden dominoes. I wish they still carried these in the toy aisle at Dollar Tree. I haven't seen them forever, but they're great for crafting for like things like this where you just need a little bit of wood. And 2 of the dominoes work perfectly for the sides of the frame to kind of boost this up to give me something more substantial to glue this to than just the edges. So I'm going to glue where it goes off to the side there at the very top and there towards the bottom where I have the little wood dominoes. And just glue that in place. You could really use anything for a spacer, but I love using wood when I can. Just making sure everything is glued down tight and everything's going to stay in place. Now, I felt like you couldn't really see the lines too well, so I am going in here with another coat for this paint pen to draw that detail back in. It seemed like a lot of it kind of blended together with the paint color that was already on there, just to kind of make that look a little bit more pronounced. And I did leave a little bit of room at the bottom part of the sign where we can put something that kind of looks like dirt, like for a carrot, like growing up, is what I was kind of thinking with that. So for the dirt, I don't actually want to use soil on a vertical sign like this. I'm using some of that brown floral moss again, and I'm just going to hot glue it down. You could also do this with Spanish moss. I think that would look good too. This is a little bit easier to work with though. It's not quite as crazy as the Spanish moss, not quite as thick either. And I'm just gluing that to the bottom. I just want it to look like the very bottom of the carrot is kind of buried in dirt. And what this is doing also is just adding another texture to the sign and giving it a little bit more character. I kind of had a split corner on my sign, and so I might as well take advantage of having the moss down here is to kind of like make it kind of go over the bottom too. And since I did it in that one corner, I'm going to kind of do that a little bit all the way across just so it's not super obvious that I was trying to cover that corner. But you could always kind of keep it in frame if you wanted. But just another little fun touch to this since I already have the greenery, have the carrot vibe, might as well give it a little bit more of a garden vibe. And this would look cute like anywhere for Easter. especially next to like a little Easter bunny or like that bunny that we just crafted. And this is how it turned out. I think it's super cute. I think it's definitely kind of got like a farmhouse vibe. I love the soft colors, and the orange is not too obnoxious. And I love a good carrot DIY for Easter. I have so many bunnies around here. I have to balance it out with some carrots as well. And this is how this one turned out. I really like the little touch of the floral moss there on the bottom. Makes it look like it's buried in the ground. For the next DIY, I wanted to do Easter egg candle holders. So I picked up some of the flocked Easter egg garland from the Dollar Tree Plus for $3 because I really liked those flocked Easter eggs, and some of these little wreath charms from the Dollar Tree. I thought these would be great bases for my candle holder because we're going to be building a candle holder from scratch. So I couldn't find two that were the same, but they both had white sides. This one, the yellow from the design, kind of went over onto the sides a little bit. So I'm just going to touch that up with a white paint pen so that you won't be able to see that. Then to cover the top of the bases, I designed this great Easter kind of floral background. It's got like chickens and bunnies and cute stuff like that on there. And I love the pastel colors. So I printed that out on cardstock, and I will share that free printable with you as well. I'm just filling the ornament holes in the little charms with a little bit of spackle so I won't have like a hole in those. But the cardstock is nice and thick, so I don't really have to do anything to that. We're just going to cover the butterfly and the bee on those with this great pattern that I designed. And I am using just a pencil, just flipping it over, and we can just sketch out two circles to cover the top of these, and we'll just leave the sides of them white. And these are going to be the bases for the candle holder. So I want to use those flocked Easter eggs from that egg garland to create this because I really wanted a high end Easter egg, and those were the nicest Easter eggs that I could find at the Dollar Tree. Again, those were $3, but you get like 10 of those eggs. And so we're just cutting out the cardstock. And again, I use cardstock because it Mod Podges really well, but you could use paper if you wanted to print out this really cute design. And I will include a link to this printable in the description below this video as well. So we're just going to Mod Podge these to the top. So I just do a thin coat of Mod Podge over this, making sure I get the entire little reef charm. And you could do like the chunky wood circles from the Dollar Tree too. It's going to give you a heavier duty base. I didn't have any of those and I couldn't find any. So I think these actually worked really well, even though they are a little bit thinner. But it actually turned out to a really stable candle holder because I want to be able to burn these candles. So I want it to be nice and stable. And these actually worked really well. So we're just going to Mod Podge both of those little circles that we cut out of that paper right onto the bases. I'm just using my heat gun to kind of speed that up, help it dry a little bit, and then we're going to seal these to make them a little bit more durable. I wanted to make two candle holders that I could use like on my kitchen table for Easter, kind of a matching set. And so I want them to be nice and durable. So just giving those a quick dry, and we have two bases for the candle holders. I was really not sure if I was going to be able to pull this off, but I actually did, and they turned out so cute. I've never made like a candle holder from scratch like this before. I guess I've made more simple ones, but this one's kind of definitely more intricate. So I'm going to use a sanding block here just to kind of get any excess paper off the edges. And then we're going to measure these. You can see they're about 4 inches wide. I just kind of need to know where the center is. And I'm just going to kind of sketch out the center with a pencil because I want to drill a hole in these to be able to put the wood dowel down inside. So just using my drill bit, in my drill, I am just going to drill a hole in these. Whatever these are made out of, they kind of like really make a mess. It's probably like some kind of pressed wood, I guess. And so I just drill a hole into the center. I actually went all the way through on mine to make it nice and stable because I need a hole for the wood dowel. You could also use the skewers, I think, from the Dollar Tree, but I wanted it to be as stable as I can make it. So I'm going to use some of the really thin wood dowels that I found at Dollar Tree, but I know sometimes these can be a little tricky to find. So that looks good. These are the dowels that I'm using. I wanted something as thick as I could get, but something that would fit through the hole that's already drilled through those eggs to make that would be garland. So we're just going to try these on for size. And I think I did a really good job. One of them was a little bit looser, but we're going to glue these in anyway with hot glue. So that should stabilize that. So put a little hot glue down in the hole that we drilled and just putting the wood down inside. I'm just leaving these the length that they are because I can always cut them down because I don't know exactly how long I'm going to need them to be. But that is the base right there for our candlesticks. Now I love these flocked eggs. You know, they have like the large flocked eggs for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. So keep your eye out for those. I've been trying to stock up on those because I love them. But these are small ones. And so I thought this would be the best way to get these. They have a hole inside. And so I just put my egg on there, like the skinnier side of the egg up, and slide that right down. There's already a hole inside of them. So that makes it a little bit easier. And I don't really have any green on the base of the candle holder, so I think I'm just going to use pink, yellow, and blue. That's going to kind of coordinate more. Now be very careful because I kind of messed up this blue egg. I kind of got stuck, and as you can see, it kind of wanted to break it. Actually, it did break it, but I was able to kind of push it back down in there and make it salvageable. But I didn't have an extra one of the blue eggs, of course. That was the one that it happened to. But I was able to make it work. So I'm just trying to repair any damage. So be very careful if you're using these exact eggs to very gently push it down and make sure you're getting the dowel to come out in the same hole that's drilled on the top. So we did pink, blue, and yellow for that one. Again, we're skipping green just because it didn't coordinate well with that paper I designed. And then we're going to do pink, blue, and yellow on the other side. I like went back and forth whether I should like change up the order of the colors or if I should have the same exact pattern. I ended up doing the same exact pattern because I'm going to have it like on a table together and I thought it would actually look better to make them match, but you can do whatever pattern, you want if you're doing this project. And I decided, let's do the same thing. So we're going to do pink first. I just carefully put that on my wood dowel and carefully wiggle that through the foam egg because it's just foam right underneath the flocked surface. But these eggs are so pretty. I absolutely love them. And here is our final yellow egg. I think I've kind of got the hang of it now. So I've got them all on there. I didn't have to glue them or anything because they really fit with tension with that dowel like coming through them. And we have 3 stacked Easter eggs. Now to cut the dowel off, I just used some heavy duty scissors and kind of broke it off. And then I kind of went back and tried to trim it up as much as I could. It was kind of hard to cut it at this point. But I don't really want too much of that wood sticking up because I don't want it to interfere with attaching our candle holders to the top. Now, since I'm going to attach clear glass candle holders to the top, I don't really want you to see the foam and the wood, so I just used a little yellow acrylic paint to touch up the top of my eggs. But this is what we have so far with our little egg candlesticks. Super cute. I'm kind of glad I did the same pattern. I'm kind of glad they match. Now for the top of the candle holder, we're going to use these little candle holders from the Dollar Tree. You get 4 of these for $1.25. And we're going to use these. They hold the tea light candles. I didn't want anything too big and heavy to go on the top of this. And I think these are going to work well. It's just a matter of finding a way to attach it to it and make it strong so that we can actually put candles in there. Now, hot glue and glass, doesn't work great. So we're going to use super glue. I picked up some super glue from the Dollar Tree. And I'm actually going to kind of assemble these upside down because the glass part is like the heaviest part of the piece. And I want to make this stable, and getting this to dry is going to be a little bit challenging. So I put a little super glue right in the bottom and flipped my candlestick upside down, holding that onto the glass candle holder. And I did hold it for a while to let that start to harden up. Super glue is a little bit faster than like E6000 and stuff like that, but you still have to really kind of use some patience on that. We're going to do this same thing here with the other candle holder, doing a nice healthy drop of super glue right in the middle and laying our little felt egg right here on top. And again, I held that one for a while to start setting up. And as you can see, my other candle holder is starting to lean a little bit. So it's not completely set up yet. So be careful. I was able to catch mine and kind of straighten it out a little bit. Now, again, the super glue is going to need some time to dry. So I'm going to go in with some hot glue around the edges. This is going to, any excess hot glue is going to go against the bottom of the glass candle holder. And it's a little hard to see right now, I know from this angle, but I just kind of went around the edges of it with some hot glue just to kind of hold it in place like this, just so it can kind of finish drying and actually also cause, more stability. We can't do with too much glue here because we want to make these candlesticks nice and strong. So I let these dry, and this is how they turned out. We have 2 Easter egg candle holders with the stacked Easter eggs. I absolutely love them. I'm so glad I chose to use the flocked Easter eggs just because they look so nice. I love that look of the flocked look. And I'm just making sure they are as straight as possible and super sturdy and that everything is staying in place. I love how these turned out. Let me show you how they look. Super cute little Easter candlesticks, very custom. And we can just use tea light candles for the top of them. So I'm going to go ahead and pop 2 of the Dollar Tree tea lights right in top. And that way we can actually burn real candles on these. And I just love how they turned out. Here's a little sneak peek, and I'll show you how they look lit up as well. Our little custom Easter egg candle holders. This was a really fun project. I love how it turned out. The little velvet eggs really add a fun touch to this one. And it was remarkably secure to hold my candles on there. So it worked out really well. I love it. I love taking some items like this from the Dollar Tree and doing something very whimsical and totally out of the box with them. I'm going to use one of the 24-inch stacked egg decor from the Dollar Tree. Plus, they're $5. And I'm only going to use 2 of these together. I want to make a coastal Easter bunny for my front porch. Now, I was trying to decide if I wanted to make a small one using those 2 eggs, or if I wanted to make a giant one using these 2 eggs. And I decided giant because it's going to go like on the little table next to my front door, and I want to make a big statement piece. But I also want it to be coastal. So I picked up the white ones because I thought it would be easier to hide that if you were able to see between any of the rope. And we're basically going to wrap them all with the nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. Now, I went back and forth on which kind of nautical rope I should use. They have 2 different kinds. This is like the 6.8 foot. They also have like an 11 foot. I decided to use the 6.8 foot because it's going to cover more because it's wider. But it is shorter, so you're going to have a lot more seam. So keep that in mind when you're deciding which one you're going to use, but you're going to want to make sure to use the same rope because it's going to take quite a few packages to make a giant coastal Easter bunny. I used a total of 12 packages of the 6.8 foot, and I just start here on the bottom of my bunny, and I am just hot gluing it. Now, I want to hot glue everything down so it stays put. I don't want any loose rope, and I want to make sure that my seams are pretty tight. If you could only find the pastel colored stackable eggs, you'd probably get away with it if you make sure that your seams are really tight, but the white's going to be a little bit easier, definitely if you're using the nautical rope, which is white. So this is how far one package got me, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have a lot of seams. And the seams on the thicker rope like this, you can make them seamless, but it's a little difficult. What I'm going to do is try to line up all of my seams on the back of the bunny so you won't be able to see them. So I did have to do some cutting, but I'm going to try to use as much as I can out of a full package. And again, I just start and stop it together there and start wrapping it around. I wasn't sure at this point whether I was going to do that, line up all the seams on the back, but it's pretty noticeable, even if you do work with it a little bit on this big rope like this. So I'm going to go around, and when I think I have a good place, like I can hide this one on the back closer to that seam that we just did without wasting too much or making too much scrap material. And then I start and stop again. And I'm pretty much going to line up all the seams with that one there on the back. And for the ears of the Easter Bunny too, I'm going to line up the seams on the back. So it is going to have a back side. That's not going to be quite as pretty as the front, but that's totally fine. And I thought that a rope bunny would be really cute, like just a very coastal feel for this. And I love wrapping things with Dollar Tree rope. I'm not a big fan of the diamond texture pattern on these eggs. So far I've been trying to find different things to cover them with. I really don't, well, maybe one set I'll try to paint and maybe distress that pattern on there. I picked up a whole bunch of packages of these eggs because every time I go into my Dollar Tree, I see them and I'm like, oh, I should buy more. I have so many Easter DIYs planned for you guys this year. I love that Easter's late. We have plenty of time to DIY. And again, I just keep building this up. I was trying to decide if I wanted my rope to stop when I got to the top of this egg. That way I could take it apart for storage, but I ended up making it all one piece. But if that's a concern of yours, you could always stop the rope when you get to the top of this and start again on the next egg. But I'm going to continue it on. So I go up here and see how far this package is going to make it. Again, I want to make sure my seams are all on the same side. And so I did have to shorten this a little bit just to make my seams fit right. And then I'm just going to glue this here, and we can go ahead and snap the second egg, the middle egg, onto this. And I will just save the top egg for this for another DIY. It'll come in handy for that. In my last Easter DIY video, I decoupaged an egg using the top piece, so that's always an option. And once I snapped it on there, I just continue gluing the rope all the way up. I also have planned to add ears to make a big bunny, and I just love how this guy turned out. He's so cute. I always love a good rope Dollar Tree DIY, and I really enjoy working with the nautical rope. It's so clean compared to the brown rope that you don't have to burn it or anything like that. Again, the seams on this one were a little bit rough. I probably could have made them a little bit better, but hiding them on the back seemed to work well for me. And so when I'm wrapping this middle one, it is a smaller egg, but I am making sure that I hide my seams here in the same place. And I do have this way sped up for you, but it really didn't take very long to do this. I basically just glue one section at a time to make sure my hot glue stays hot, but definitely paying attention to where that seam is. Now, once I get to the top of this egg, it does have the hole in the top. We're going to kind of ignore that. Keep spiraling the rope around to finish it off and give it a solid top to the bunny head. And we're going to decorate this bunny too. I thought at first just to leaving it rope, but I did want to add a little bit of decor to it as well, but only a little bit because I really like the silhouette of the rope bunny. This is what I'm talking about, how it is open here on the top of the egg. So again, I'm just going to continue that rope, spiraling it around. When I get to the areas that don't have any plastic to glue to, I can just glue the rope to each other and closing up the hole on the top of the head. Now, I wasn't sure what to use for bunny ears. I wanted something a little bigger because this is a big bunny. So I didn't really want to use any Dollar Tree bunny ears for this. And I also didn't want to use cardboard because I'm going to put this bunny outside. And in the slim chance that it does get wet, I didn't want the cardboard inside to disintegrate. And so what I'm going to end up using is some of the flexible cutting mats from the Dollar Tree. The thing about this is it ended up, the ears are a little floppy, which is actually a little bit cute, but could be sturdier, but it is going to be easy to cut. So I just use some bunny ears for reference, and then I make them longer because this is a big bunny. And I will be able to wrap this with the Dollar Tree rope to provide 2 ears for the top. And it's not gonna be very heavy either, which is good because I'm gonna need to glue these on the top of the bunny head, and I wanna make sure they stay in place. So I just sketched those out, and I'm gonna cut them out, trying to make sure that they are the same size. And I think these are gonna work really well. Again, a little floppy. If I had something stronger, I don't know if it would have been so easy to cut into this custom shape. But again, just like before, I'm going to wrap these. I just marked the front of mine because I kind of lined them up what looked good on my bunny. So I remember which side was the front on these. And we're going to start wrapping these. So I'm going to start on the back because I want the seam to be on the back. And basically, I'm just going to wrap it, this time just around a flat surface though. Again, trying to keep my seams tight so you can't really see in between. And I'm going to go all the way up to the curvy top of the bunny ear. Now this is a really big bunny. I just measured it. It's 25 inches tall, so definitely a statement piece. If you wanted to make a smaller one, you could use the 2 top eggs. It's going to be a lot smaller. You're going to use less rope. And again, I used 12 packages of the 6.8-foot nautical rope. That's always a question I get, so I made sure to count them for you. And this one I used a scrap piece to start, which made me have to do a seam, which I didn't really enjoy, but I hit it on the back, so I think it's going to be okay. I opened a new package though to finish the rest of it, so I would have less seams. And then it gets a little skinnier here at the top, and then I want to make sure to cover the very tip top here, just by making sure you can't see any of the plastic, gluing the rope to itself right about here. And again, I think they're sturdy enough to hold up outside for weather, but they do kind of flop a little bit, which I guess is the materials that I used. If you wanted a sturdier one, I think a thicker cardboard would be sturdier, and that would be something that you could cut too. And I'm going to go ahead and do the second bunny ear the same exact way. I was thinking whether I needed to use some skewers or something to stake the ears on to make them strong. But since they're so lightweight with that flexible cutting board in there, really the only weight to this is the rope itself. I think it's going to be fine just to glue these on top of the rope bunny. And the rope did weigh down the bunny a lot since I used so many packages of rope on it that it made it a little bit heavier duty item for outside that I don't think it will blow over or anything if I put it on my front porch area. So we have 2 bunny ears. Let me show you how I go about attaching. So I have my back with all my seams back there, and I'm going to attach the 2 bunny ears like this. So for the first one, I put hot glue on both of those bottom ropes and just place it right here to the side on my bunny head and hold it in place. You're going to want that glue to set up as much as you can between the rope. I flipped mine over and did another band of hot glue back here where you can't see, let that set up, and repeated that. So I have 3 different really coats of hot glue on that. Now it's not totally dry yet, so I'm kind of afraid to let go of it, but I thought we could get started here with the second ear. Again, lots of hot glue there. Stagger it here on the other side, and then I held that and then flipped it over and did a couple rows of hot glue on the back of that one as well. Now you could stop here and just have a rope bunny. He's really cool. Look how magnificent he is. I love him. But I thought he needed a little something. So I'm going to add a bow, but I want to make it very coastal and simple. So I'm using some of the wired burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And I just cut out a piece long enough to wrap around his little bunny neck, and I simply tie it. I'm going to use these for the tails of my bow. That'll make it a little bit easier. I want them to be short though. I don't really want it to take away from the rope. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those. I end up cutting these like 3 different ways. I dovetailed them at first, but then I was like, oh, maybe I'll just like them at an angle better. And then in the end, I ended up making them square. So it kind of evolved. And then I want to make a bow using some of the mesh ribbon from the Dollar Tree and that burlap ribbon. And we're just going to do a faux bow that we can put together with a zip tie, something really easy. So I'm going to need a couple of loops on both sides here of the burlap ribbon. But so I'm not cutting any tails on that since I already have tails on the burlap ribbon. But I also want to do that mesh ribbon in between. So I'm going to cut that in half. And I'm going to do 2 loops of the burlap ribbon overlapping slightly, make a tail of the mesh ribbon, and then I'm going to do a loop on each side, just one on each side, and cut a second tail here, gathering everything in the middle. There's no need to twist because there is no right side or wrong side to either one of these ribbons. And then slightly overlap my loop here for the top bow. And then I take a zip tie and I'm going to put that through the ribbon right here, and we're going to tie it all together. Just making sure my tails were down where I wanted them to be. And I'm just going to zip tie it. And there's enough bows where it's wired. I can make this fluffed up and filled up. You won't be able to see the zip tie or anything like that. I just put the back of it back there where you can't see that little zip tie and kind of froof it up a little bit. That's when I was like, you know what? I just really want these to be square. I just wanted the tails to be short and kind of out of the way. I just needed a little something to decorate him. And I think this is a fun little coastal touch to our rope bunny. Now, if I were to make this guy again, I think I would have made his ears out of a different material, maybe something a little bit stiffer like cardboard. It is held up well, but the ears are floppy, which I kind of like, but if you want them to stand straight up like this, you might need a more solid surface to wrap your rope around. For the next DIY, I wanted to see if I can make a little Easter lantern using some of these wood boxes from the Dollar Tree. I have 2 of them. I also have a little wood bunny. I think I got that at Target Dollar Spot. I think it was like part of a tier tray kit. I can't remember, but I thought it would be perfect for the top of this. I'm also going to use some wood dowels. I wanted to see if they were long enough to use with the 5x7 of the acrylic boards from the Dollar Tree, and not quite long enough, so I will have to grab some longer ones and just cut them down to size. I am going to use 3 of the 5x7 acrylic boards for the sides of the lantern, and there will be a little bit of space in the corner, so I want to give it a little bit more structure with the wood dowels. Now, you could paint this if you wanted. I thought it would be fun to try to do a decoupage with tissue paper. I got this great tissue paper at the Dollar Tree, and I think it's really fun for spring. I want to bring in that pink and white gingham. I really love gingham for Easter. I have an entire video about that. You'll have to check that out if you haven't seen it. I'm going to use this one piece. I'm going to target the center piece here so I won't have any wrinkles on the top of my piece. And what I want to do is cut down a square that's big enough to cover the sides as well, the front, back, and both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to size and then cut down a square. I can use that square as reference to do the other one as well. I want to wrap both of them with the tissue paper decoupage. I thought this would be a really fun touch. Now, the lantern that I make, it's kind of a smaller lantern. I didn't have a very tall shelf that I want to display mine on, but I think with the 5x7, you could always make yours a little bit taller if you wanted to, and I'll show you that when I get to that step. But for now, we're going to Mod Podge. Now, remember, if you're using napkins or tissue paper, keep your Mod Podge really thin. That way you won't get as much wrinkling. And so I just put it on there thinly, make sure I get this laid down without any wrinkles. And I like to use a dry paper towel. You can also use plastic wrap rolled up into your hand. That won't cause any tearing of the tissue paper either. But I try to keep it as dry as possible on this side of the tissue paper, and that seems to work well for me. Now for the sides, I'm going to do opposite sides, glue them down, and then cut the corners so that we can have straight corners on these without doing like a wrapped gift kind of wrapping on this. I want everything to be very flat. So I just do opposite sides. It's okay that it's a little long. I can always sand that down and get a perfect cut on those. I do cut it here right next to the box as close as I can get it, which my scissors can't get all the way over there, so I will have to use my sanding block to sand those down a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side, cutting little wings just like that. And there's just that little piece of paper there that I still need to sand where my scissors couldn't get all the way close to the wood box. And what I'm going to do is then pull down the other sides here, right? I'm going to have too much on this side, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and glue down what I have, and then I can sand off any of the excess. Be careful, you don't want to do it when it's still super wet because you don't want to tear any of your tissue paper where you want it to be. But this is a fun way to cover this with gingham. You could always paint it. I thought about painting mine white at first, but I really wanted it to have a lot of spring color and character and fun because that's what we're doing today. And so I thought the pink and white gingham was really fun. They also have a smaller print of the purple and white gingham on the spring napkins. That would be really cute as well. And then I just go ahead and sand off all of the excess paper. And again, trying to make sure that there is as minimal wrinkling as possible on that. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here on the other side. So remember thin coats, that's really all you need to know. And you don't want to work with it too much. You might be able to put it on there twice if you're lucky, but don't push your luck. And I'm going to do it the same exact way. I'm going to leave the inside of the wood box and the wood dowels, different items, just the raw wood. So I'm not going to be painting anything on this project. But I found that this worked really well to do the opposite sides like this. Cut it down right there at the corner so you have that clean cut at the corner. And then it's really easy to sand down your other side to get all that excess material off. Now, the reason that I made mine a little short is because I needed it to be short. The 5x7 is going to be the side of the lantern, so mine is probably only 7 inches tall total, including the wood boxes. But I'm thinking you could probably stretch yours out a little bit by where you glue your acrylic board into your wood box on these. I've made lanterns before using the flexible cutting mats from the Dollar Tree, and I would really recommend the acrylic board. It looks like glass. It's so cool. And even if you can't get the exact size that you need, they actually cut down pretty well. If you use a razor blade, you can snap them and cut them. I've done that here on my channel. And so we have the top and the bottom of our little Easter lantern. Now, like you have a finial sometimes on the top of your lantern, I thought that the wood bunny would be great for that. And then these are the dowels I'm going to use. They're kind of thin, but I really don't need much. I just wanted to add a little bit more structure. You could probably get away without using them at all. These are the acrylic boards. They have these in all different sizes at Dollar Tree. These are the 5x7. If you wanted to make a mini lantern, you could always do it. I think there's is it a 4x6 or a 3.5x5? I can't remember. I know I have a whole bunch of different sizes of these. I really love crafting with them. I'm going to sit mine on all the way, so it fits down in my box, and I'm going to put the top of the lantern on all of the way. Let me show you. I just glued mine all the way to the bottom. It's going to make it a little bit more stable, but if you want yours to be taller, then I would only glue it about halfway down in your box, there at the bottom and the top part. Mine ended up being a little on the short side, but I still think it's really cute. You just have to peel off the protective coating on the front and the back, trying not to mess it up with your fingerprints or anything like that. I try to touch it as little as possible. And I'm going to glue this one on. You can see that slight gap at the corners. That's where I'm going to go and put the wood dowels on the inside. But these I want to glue flat to the wood on the inside of the box there. I'm only going to do 3 sides because I want the back of my little Easter lantern to be open so I can put a battery-operated candle in here. And we're also going to decorate this for Easter and make it really fun. So that is my third piece of the little plexiglass acrylic board. This is what it looks like so far. And so we'll have to cut these down to size. So I'm just going to measure one. I want one in each corner to provide a little bit of structure. And so I'm just going to cut those down with my miter scissors. They work really great for dowels, and then use that as reference to cut down the other 3. I'm not going to glue this to the acrylic board because I don't want to get hot glue all over my acrylic board. It's really hard to get off of it. I'm just going to glue these down into the corners. And hopefully that will provide a little bit of support and fill up any gap there. From the outside, you really can't notice these at all. They really hide in well there in the corner of the acrylic board, but I'm also going to do them here in the back as well. And I'm just going to leave the opening blank. I was thinking you could put the top on and off when you put the candle in there, and you could do all four sides with the acrylic board if you wanted to. But I kind of like the back of my lanterns being open a little bit better to be able to reach the battery operated candle inside to be able to turn them on and off. I put hot glue on the inside, all 3 panels here, and I'm going to sit it all the way on top. So this is going to be the lid. I go all the way. So that's why mine's a little bit shorter, but you could probably get away with only going about halfway, gluing that into the wooden box. This is the little bunny I want to use on the very top of it. I'm just going to attach that with hot glue. I will add some more fun details. If you can't find anything for the top of your Easter lantern, you could always add a flower or a big Easter bow up there with some ribbon. That'd be really cute as well. For the feet of the lantern, I'm going to use just the little wood cubes from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to do 4, 1 in each corner. I'm not going all the way out to the corner. The raw wood's going to blend in nicely with the dowels, the bunny on top, and the inside of the boxes that are visible. But I do really like the color that the pink and white gingham brought to this project. I want to fill the inside of my lantern with some of that faux grass from Dollar Tree. I think that would be really fun. If you don't have any of that, you could always fill it with the reindeer moss as well. It is kind of deep in there though, and I want you to be able to see the decor and the candle inside. So I'm going to boost it up a little bit with one of these little chunky wood circles from the Dollar Tree. Not totally necessary, but I think it helped in my circumstances. So I'm just going to attach that with hot glue inside the bottom of my lantern like that, just to boost everything up. And then I want to cover all of that with grass. I love crafting with this faux grass from the Dollar Tree. The only thing is it's a little difficult to cut. Now I've already got the finial on that and then the feet. Luckily I had a 3rd box here to use for reference. I should have measured that first. But I want to cut down a square of the grass, and I always cut it a little bit bigger than I need because a lot of times you get that black edge on there when you cut it, and I don't really like the look of that, so I always try to trim that off. And just trying that on for size to see if that's going to fit nicely in there. I'm going to put it over the little circle and have it just kind of go down on the sides of it as well. I do attach it with some hot glue so it doesn't move around. And I'm not worried about anything being flammable in this lantern because of course I'm using a battery operated candle, so it won't interfere with anything. Now for the acrylic board, I want to decorate it with some window clings from the Dollar Tree. I chose Easter eggs and some polka dots. I thought the polka dot would look really cute with the gingham. I do the pink and the white on the front, and then I'm going to do the green and the white on the side. And there's another one that's yellow and white. They're all polka dot. And since this is just like glass, they go on just like window clings, super easy. I just smooth them out with a dry paper towel, and now it's time to decorate the inside. I wanted to do a little miniature Easter scene, and these are the smallest things I could find from the Dollar Tree, erasers. So they have little bunny erasers, little chicks coming out of eggs, and even carrot erasers. And I think they make really great miniatures. They don't hot glue great to a solid surface, but you know what? They're going to do fine with the grass. The grass will really hold them in place. I think the chick is so cute. I did a bunny in the front where you could see it. I'm also going to do the little chick coming out of the egg. And then I kind of want to do all 4 corners. I only have 3 different things, so we'll just mix it up a little bit. This is the carrot. I'm going to have that poking out of the grass towards the back. And you can't have too many Easter bunnies, so I'll go ahead and do another Easter bunny for the other corner. Now to decorate the top of my lantern a little bit more, I'm going to add a little reindeer moss around the bunny just to give some fun and character up here. I want to add a few flowers, and I thought that the moss would make a great bed. I do want to go around the entire bunny. You could also make a really fun Easter bow. I love a lantern with a big bow on the top of it. That would be really cute and festive too for Easter. But since I had the little wood bunny, I thought I would use it. I don't think I've ever really needed it before for another DIY, but it was perfect for this one. And I'm just going to add a little bit of reindeer moss all the way around. I don't need too much. I just need a little bit of bedding for some small wildflowers to add a little spring touch to this. I also want to add flowers inside of my little miniature Easter scene. I wanted miniature inside because I want there to be enough room for the candle. And these are the flowers that I'm going to use. Little tiny white wildflowers. I'm just going to take these off and glue the stems into the reindeer moss. Originally, I was going to use the white battery-operated candle from the Dollar Tree, but I ended up switching it up for that green one that you see there with the leaves on the side. That is also from Dollar Tree, and the reason I switched it up is because it's way brighter than the white ones. The white ones can be pretty dim, even with the full battery from the Dollar Tree. And I want this lantern to shine bright. For the inside, I wanted to switch up the colors a little bit and add some pink. So I'm going to add some of the pink baby's breath, just cutting little stems and gluing those around. So I have something at each corner already, so I can go about halfway in between and add a little flower to both sides and one to the front. There's plenty of room left for my candle, but that's probably about it on the inside with our little miniature scene. This is what it looks like so far. So cute. I love it. Now, the next step is just to add the candle and see how we can make this glow. This is the candle I was talking about. I think it's really pretty. I love the green leaf pattern, and I think they'll go in well with the spring vibes of this. I'm just going to sit that on that faux grass, and we have a cute little Easter lantern. I had such a fun time making this. It took me a little bit longer than I expected it to, but really cute in the end. I love gingham for Easter. It's such a classic thing to add to something like this. And DIYing with those little acrylic boards like that from the Dollar Tree can be a lot of fun to kind of build something like this from scratch. Let me show you what it looks like lit up with all of our cute little miniature bunnies and chicks peeking out of this. Really fun and whimsical. And I really enjoy the little bunny there on the top as well. So if you're looking to make something for Easter that lights up, an Easter lantern might be perfect for you. This is how it turned out, and I think it's really fun. For this DIY, I want to make a little carrot planter. So I'm going to use one of these 10 buckets from the Dollar Tree, and I want to line the outside of it with carrots to make a little carrot flower pot. Now, it does have a metal handle on this little metal bucket, and so I am going to simply wrap that with twine. I start at one end and tie that off, and then I am going to cut off quite a long piece here so that I can wrap the entire handle. In the end, I don't know how much you can see this detail, but I wanted that to be a basket. So I wanted it to stand up, and I thought it'd be really cute for it to be wrapped with twine. So I just wrap away till I get to the other side, and then I'm going to secure it here on the other side. Now the outside of the pot, I want to do with those string carrots from the Dollar Tree. So I picked up a bunch of them, all the same size, so I could line the sides of these. I think they might come in more than one size. These aren't the ones that are super small. They're kind of more of a medium size. So now that we have the handle wrapped, we can start adding the carrots to the side. So I started like where the handle is so I could kind of space these out appropriately. And I glued one on each side. It's okay if a little bit of the metal shows through, but if you can find like the 10 bucket that doesn't have anything on it, that would be ideal, or something like an Easter color. So I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side. I'm going to glue on one of the string carrots here on both sides. And then my plan for what's inside the little flower pot is I have some greenery from the Dollar Tree that I got that I think looks like the top of a carrot plant. So I'm going to kind of space these out, whatever will fit here. And I like the fact that they're a little bit larger than the bucket, kind of hides it a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and add our string carrots here to the other side. Really easy. The string carrots being already prepared like that Takes away about half of the work, maybe more, I guess. Now that I have it completely lined with carrots, let me show you what that looks like. Isn't that so cute? We're gonna add the greenery. Now these little metal buckets from the Dollar Tree, the green foam fits perfectly inside the little circle that they have. And so I'm just going to add one of those pieces and we're gonna add some greenery. Now I'm going to cut this down. This is the greenery that I found from the Dollar Tree that I think looks kind of like the top of a carrot plant. I'm just going to cut them into individual pieces and then use that wire to press it down into the floral foam. We're not going to do any kind of flowers or anything like that. We're going to stick straight to greenery, and this part was really easy to do. Such a whimsical, fun Easter project. I love decorating with carrots, and this is kind of a fun surprise. Now, you could really do that on any kind of a flower pot or anything like that. Lining the outside of it, the carrot shape works perfect for that. So I think that's enough greenery. It looks pretty full here on top of the carrots. And this is what I mean about like my basket handle kind of got buried in the greenery. But overall, I think it's really cute. Let me show you how this one turned out. Our little string carrot flower pot full of greenery. I wonder what this would look like if you did put flowers in there. It would probably be really cute as well. But how adorable are those string carrots? And it's always great when you don't have to make them, right? I want to do a coastal Easter egg topiary. And for the bucket, I'm going to use this little metal bucket that I actually got at Dollar Tree during Christmas time. But it is easy enough usually to remove the writing on these, if it's the right kind of paint that they used on there. This one it just took a little bit of elbow grease and some fingernail polish remover, and I was able to remove the hope writing there on the front. And now it's a little bit more universal. I can use it for any holiday. I like the size of this. It's a perfect size for the egg topiary that I wanted to create. And I like the little rings on the side too. I think that looks pretty cute. So I finally got that all off. I was glad it was able to come off. Otherwise, that I would have had to paint it or do something else. Now to weight on the bottom, I'm just going to use some rocks. These are just some rocks that I had from the Dollar Tree. Doesn't really matter. You're just going to need something to weight on the bottom. Now to make the topiary, I'm using a cutting mat from the Dollar Tree. This is one of their mint green colored ones, but it doesn't really matter what color you use. I just had this one. I roll it into a cone shape, making sure the bottom is going to be about the right width to fit in the pot. And I use little hot glue to attach it here. I've used this method to make topiaries for lots of different holidays, and these cutting mats are always my go-to for this. Now the bottom is not flat, but I think that's going to work. I just cut off this little corner down here to give myself a flat bottom, and I can put that right inside the pot. It fits snugly, which is exactly what I was going for. Now I like the mint green color of this. I think it looks kind of coastal on its own, but again, you can always use the clear ones for this. I did use a little hot glue around the rim of the pot just to make sure that it stays in place. And that is the topiary so far. Now it's time to make it beautiful. I want to use Easter eggs from the Dollar Tree, but I also want to make them look coastal. So I picked up some of these little 6-packs with the speckled eggs, and I'm going to try to pick out the coastal colors. It's a little hit or miss finding Easter eggs at my stores. And you might have to paint them if you want a specific color range. But for this one, I was lucky enough to find like 2 different colors of blue and a white one. And I'm just going through all of my 6-packs and picking those out. They are a little large, the eggs, for this scale, but I think we can make it work. I'm going to start here towards the top and hot glue on our first Easter egg. I do it a little bit here at an angle. And as you can see, you're going to have lots of gaps between the eggs in there, but I do have a plan to fill that up. I think it'll be fine. So right now, I'm just going to start by alternating colors and attaching them. Kind of one up, one down, and trying not to repeat a color next to each other, scattering those all over. Some of them straight up and down, some of them tilted. It doesn't really matter. It's just like your personal preference until I get pretty much eggs all over the whole topiary. I know at this point it looks a little bare, but hang with me, it's going to get better. So I think I need a few more down here. And as you can see, I'm just kind of staggering them in between the eggs on top. And I think that is enough eggs for the Easter egg part. Now to fill in all of the gaps, I'm going to use Spanish moss from the Dollar Tree. This kind of stays together. It's a little stringy, but I like it because it has like a little bit of a nest feel, which will work really well with the egg theme. And so I'm just going to start at the top and just start gluing it on. Right here at the top where I have the little opening, I'm going to glue that over. And as you can see, it's going to disguise all of the gaps. It's going to fill everything in and kind of make everything more to scale. It sticks out quite a bit, which is why I chose the Spanish moss. And I'm just going to leave it together in strings like this, the most that I can, wrapping it around the eggs and hot gluing it to the cutting mat like that. And I love that feel for Easter. And, it also goes with the coastal feel because we have so much Spanish moss on the island here where we live, hanging from all of the ancient oak trees. So it reminds me of the beach for sure. This is looking really good. Just a few more pieces of the Spanish moss down here. This was a lot easier than I thought it would be to do, and it looked really high end when I was done with it. I was really pleased with this DIY, and I have kept it and I continue to decorate with it. I want to make sure that I don't have any areas where you can see the cutting mat through. I just add a little bit more Spanish moss whenever I see that. And I just go here at the very base here too, filling in any of the gaps around the bottom of the eggs and the tin. Once you get it all on there, you can give it a little trim. It is a little messy, so make sure you're aware of that when you start this DIY. I have that silicone cutting mat down there, so pretty easy to clean up. I just give it a little trim just for any of the pieces that are sticking out abnormally long, but otherwise I want it to look a little bit rustic. This is what it looks like so far. You could stop there. I wanted to add a little bit of fabric detail to the metal pot, so I'm going to add some of the Dollar Tree burlap ribbon here to the bottom. So I just measure that out. This is the wired burlap ribbon, doesn't really matter, whatever you have. And I'm going to make sure that the seam is like towards the back here with the little handles on the side. And I just pull it tight, hot gluing it to itself. It's a little wider at the top, but it works out well for a little sleeve for our pot. And this is how it turned out, our little coastal Easter egg topiary. I love the combination of the blues and the greens there on the Easter eggs. Now, what kind of Easter eggs have you found at your Dollar Tree this year? I have not been able to find the speckled ones, but I did find like some pastel ones that are really cutesy painted, but I really kind of prefer the speckled ones. We're going to make a little gingham Easter gnome using one of these little Easter gnomes from the Dollar Tree, but we're going to make ours a lot cuter. I want to first remove the hanger, and we're also going to remove all of the tinsel. I do like the beard on this, and I'm also going to replace the bunny ears because I think those look really kind of cheap too. This is one of those solid plastic cages from the Dollar Tree, so it's a little bit different than a lot of the tinsel items that I take apart. I do want to remove this little fluffy part here that overlaps his nose. His nose is perfect too, so we can leave that intact for sure. Just taking off the tinsel here, going side to side. You just have to go around the little tabs on there. What I want to do is I want to cover the hat with some burlap. I think that'll look really cute. And then I want to use gingham for the bunny ears. I'm going to use some of this burlap that I got at Walmart, but you could always use the kind from Dollar Tree as well, whatever you can find. I'm going to cut out enough for his hat. I was having this little Easter gnome match some of my coastal decor, so I want to do a blue gingham on this one, but it would be really great for any Easter crafting. And I always love to sneak in a little gnome DIY if I can. I want it to be bigger than the gnome hat so it can wrap around the edges, but not too much fabric, right? And I don't want you to be able to see through it. Since it has the openings in there, I thought you could see the gray cage through it a little bit. So I'm going to do 2 layers of the burlap. I just attach it with some hot glue here and wrap it around the tabs. That way none of the tabs will really get in the way. I'll actually use them to help glue this to it. And I don't want to waste too much burlap here on the back where you won't be able to see it. Just a straight little gnome hat on this one. If you can't find the Easter one, you could also do this with any of the seasonal gnomes they have from the Dollar Tree. They have them for a lot of seasons, like especially Christmas, I know. And I put my second layer of burlap on there, and that really helped the ability to be able to see through that open weaving on there to see that gray cage in the back. So 2 coats of burlap on there. meeting here at the very tip of the hat. And then I cut this here right where it was cut before, almost in an art shape for the hat design. Just trimming up any of the loose edges. So he's already looking really cute. For the bunny ears, I have these bunny ears from Target Dollar Spot, but you could also use the bunny ears from Dollar Tree because we're going to be changing them out anyway. These already do have a gingham in there, but I was telling you I was going for a match to some of my blue decor, so I'm going to change that up. I went ahead and cut the bunny ears off the headband. And the gingham, I'm going to change it to as blue, so I'm using some of the blue gingham Easter ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to remove the yellow that was already in there, and we're going to replace it with blue. Easy enough. These have a little plastic wire in there that gives them a little bit of rigidity, and I don't need the headband, I just needed the bunny ears. I'm going to glue this back over the plastic so that stays in there. And then we're going to use this yellow ribbon that we're cutting out to cut out the blue ribbon to replace it. So if you had some that were already gingham like this, I didn't see any gingham ones at the Dollar Tree. Of any of the styles, you could just skip a step. But for mine, I'm going to replace it with that blue gingham anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. I'm using this for a reference to know how to cut this out. And this does have the foil on the side, but it is so wide that I can cut that around and just use it for fabric. So this is another item that you can use from the Dollar Tree to add some gingham to your Easter DIYs. I think that looks pretty good. I'm trying to get it cut down perfectly, and we're just going to use hot glue to glue those in. And we can attach that to the front of the little gnome sticking out. It's going to look so much better than the paper bunny ears that this had on it before, combined with that tinsel. So it does have a little bit of a rough edge, but we will seal that in. But first, I want to go ahead and attach our bunny ears. I just hot glue that down to the bottom of the gnome hat, one on each side. And these are the perfect size for this size of a project. You can use this as a wall hanging. You could also use it on a door. It would be cute. Now, I got rid of the fluff before that was the brim of the hat. It was a little bit messed up. So I'm actually just using the headband, and I'm going to cut the fluff off the headband because we're not going to be wasting any craft materials around here. And we can use that white fluff to go around and be a seam for the hat. I'm just going to cut off any yellow there that you might be able to see on it and straighten up the edges a little bit. And look what we have. Perfect. This is going to seal it in. It's going to be a perfect match to the bunny ears. And you can have it slightly go over your gnome or your gonk right there. It's a gonk if you can't see the eyes. And wrap that around the back. This was such an easy DIY, really fun to do, and I think it looks so much cuter than it did before. I just add a little hanger here. The little hole is still on there, and I just tie some twine on there. And here it is, our little Easter bunny gnome with gingham ears. Now, when I first started this channel, I don't think I liked gnomes at all until I made my first bee gnome, and then I was like, oh, no. Gnomes are adorable. I have to make them. Actually, I think these ones that you can't see the eyes are actually called gonks, which is a fun little fact, but I think he's super sweet. Okay, coming up next, I actually picked up one of these little basket liners from the Dollar Tree, and I thought it would make a perfect nest for some giant Easter eggs. So this is so easy to do. I don't have to do anything to it. It's circular, it's shaped like a bowl, and it's so much easier than trying to make something like this, I think. And so I thought we would just use that combined with the Spanish moss from the Dollar Tree to make like a big bird nest that we can fill with giant Easter eggs. Now, this project was so easy to do. It'd be really cute outside as well as an indoor decoration because it's really large compared to most like nests or egg DIYs or projects that you see. So these are the ornaments that we're going to use. They are covered in string, just like the little egg picks that we used earlier. Trying to show you how cute these are. And they're like ornaments, I guess, for probably like an Easter tree. So I picked up one of each color, pink, blue, purple, and green. Loving the pastel colors for Easter.
And look how nicely they fit in this size of a nest. And I'm just going to kind of stagger them around. And 4, I think, is the perfect size for this one. Now, the only thing I didn't like about it at this point is that it was really wobbly. So I was thinking that any kind of wind is going to blow it over. Anybody touching it, it's going to like blow it over. So I do have to weigh it down a little bit. You can see how wobbly it is there. So I just take everything out. It's so easy to put it back in. And I have like some of those Dollar Tree pebbles. You could use any kind of rock, anything like that. You don't want to make a big mess, but you just need a little bit of weight in the bottom just to make it more stable. Then we're just going to pile our little pastel giant Easter eggs back in. And we have a little giant Easter nest. I think it's so fun. I do sprinkle in a little bit more Spanish moss to make sure that the nest is really good and full. And I love how this turned out. This would be really cute to like sit it. If you wanted to like sit it outside, like in your yard or landscaping, you might need to stake it down or weigh it down even more. But this is cute just for decoration, I think. And this is how it turned out. How easy was that DIY?
Now, you could do this with the giant flocked Easter eggs from Dollar Tree as well, or the string ones like this. A fun way to display those large Easter eggs like that. And I think that makes a perfect little nest for them. Now, this sign I found at the Dollar Tree is really pretty on its own. It's like a light blue with white flowers all over it. It says welcome. I think it's so cute. I'm just going to add a few things to make it even better. I don't know why they tied the hanger on like that. That was really kind of strange. When you untie it, then you have a super long hanger, which is also kind of strange. So the first thing I'm going to do is just tie a knot there to shorten that hanger and simplify the whole thing. And there's a picture of a rope that goes all the way around the bunny, and I don't really like that. I would rather have real rope. So I'm going to use the thinner brown rope, and just starting right here on the bunny foot, this is the perfect width to cover this. You could also use the thinner white nautical rope for this, but I thought the brown rope would look better. And I'm just going to glue that all the way around. I love the pattern on that. It's really cute. Mine didn't have a lot of glare, but if you find yours is a little shiny, you might want to cover the surface of the bunny first with some matte Mod Podge to give it a more matte finish, but mine wasn't too bad. So I just went working straight directly on the sign. And I just go around with that one piece of rope. I've been trying to order cases of rope. I was able to order one to my store, but then my warehouses have ran out of them. So I've been trying to stock up because I was completely out of Dollar Tree rope. I'm going to have it start and stop right there at the bunny foot. It's an easy place to use some hot glue to make that look like the rope just continues around there. It has a raffia bow on it, which I don't mind. It's kind of cute. So I'm just going to use my heat gun to straighten it out a little bit, fluff it up a little bit, make it look really cute there around the neck of the bunny rabbit. Mine had a slight tear there at the bottom of the sign, and I wanted to add something to it anyway, so I'm going to use some of the little string carrots from the Dollar Tree, some of the smaller ones like that, and glue them there. I don't want to overlap where it says welcome. I'm going to glue one right here in the center, and then have 2 tilted out toward the side like that. Just a fun little addition. It covered that area of the sign that I didn't realize was scratched when I bought it a while ago. And cut the little greenery down too so it doesn't cover the word. Then I decided there was too much blue going on with the blue beads and the blue bunny, so I decided to swap them out with some orange beads. I thought that would coordinate well with the orange carrot, so we added to the sign and go away from being too much of the blue. They had 8 on there. I like to do more odd numbers, so I went like 3 on each side. So I'm going to do 6 on that existing hanger. And it's easy enough to take that on and off with this little stem that it had on it. And that's the final step. This was such an easy DIY. I knew it was really pretty already, this welcome bunny sign. And I thought if I added some rope, bright orange beads, and some carrots to it, we could make it even more fun. Isn't this so cute? A lot of times I'm not a big fan of like the pre-made signs like this for holidays, especially at Dollar Tree, because they like to put glitter all over them and all that kind of stuff. but this one I really kind of liked. But my store has been very limited this year.
This is the tier tray we are going to decorate today. I'm going to display this on my kitchen table for Easter. So I wanted to start with kind of a larger piece for the top of my tier tray. I often do that. And I found these cute little signs with the little hopping bunnies at Dollar Tree. And so I picked up 2 of them. I want it to look like, you know, a lot of times people take these hopping bunnies and have them like on a stand and they look really cute. So I thought I would get kind of the same effect using one of these on each side of the top of my tier tray. Now, I really want them to be white. I did find them in 2 different colors, and I am wanting to put them back to back. So I kind of need them to be like mirror images of each other. So I'm just going to take the bow and the little metal, galvanized metal part on the ear off, just using my heat gun. And then I can just flip that one over and use the back of it to make it look like the other side. So you'll see what I mean here in a minute. I kind of want to put them back to back, but I want them to be like hopping in the same direction so it's not real obvious that they're going different directions. So just using some white acrylic paint, I am just working in one direction. It's okay if a little bit of the brown from the back of it shows through, because it's going to give you that like wood grain that the other one is painted. And they don't have to be exactly the same, but I'm just trying to get like, you know, the same kind of effect here. And I want to do like just all bunnies, like white bunnies, wood bunnies, and carrots for this tier tray. Something really simple, a lot of greenery, something really cute for Easter. So I did have to sand down some of the little staple holes and touch that up a little bit, but rustic is fine for this. So I'm going to glue the little bow on this side and the little metal on the ear. And now we have 2 mirror images of the bunnies. So I kind of want to display them like back to back like that on the ring that's on the top of my tier tray to kind of give me something fun and big to get this tier tray started. I need something to tie them on. So I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree twine, cut down a couple pieces, try 2 here, and just attach that to the back. That way I have something to tie on to the little ring on the top of my tier tray. So just going to attach those with hot glue. I did find once I tied them on here that they did kind of wobble around a little bit. So I did have to kind of further reinforce it, but it was a good start. So I'm just going to tie it like right here on the top. And it's going to cover up that like, you know, handle on the top of the tier tray. But I think it's going to give that cute effect of like the hopping bunny on a stand without even having to make a stand for it, right? So there's the first one. It's a little loose, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go on and put the second one on there. And since I mirrored them, now they're like hopping in the same direction. And so it's going to be cute from all sides. Since it's on my kitchen table, you're going to be able to see this tier tray from every direction. So every side of my tier tray needs to be cute. Now, I really want them to be flush with each other, and they're kind of a little bit wobbly. So I'm just going to trim off the excess twine, and then I'm just going to simply kind of attach them to each other using some double-sided tape. I layered it on top of each other to make it a little bit thicker, and I'm just going to double stick tape like one end together so that they'll stay flush. And that worked perfectly. Okay, I want greenery, and I found this great green garland at Dollar Tree the other day. They had several different varieties, but you get quite a bit of it for $1.25, and I thought this was really cute. I thought this would look like really good for like Easter, and so I want some for both tiers of my tier tray. So I'm gonna like cut like maybe a third of it, and then so I'll have like one size for the top where it's small and the larger piece for the bottom where it's bigger. And this worked great. So just kind of stringing it in there, kind of doing some of the greenery filler first. And then we can kind of layer from there. And I got this tier tray at, I think, Bell's Outlet on clearance. Isn't it adorable? I love decorating with it. It's very rustic. And I love the round for my kitchen table. So we're going to put the larger piece down here. And I can always rearrange it later if I need to. Now, I thought it needed a little bit more greenery. And this is some foliage greenery from the Dollar Tree that I think I had left over from last year doing my Easter tier tray. They do have this again this year. I did make an Easter carrot pot with this stuff. I think it makes a great like greenery for carrots. And so I don't want it to have this long stem on it though. I thought that might be kind of obvious. So I'm kind of like pushing them up and kind of cutting that off just to give me some sprigs where I can kind of mix this greenery and with that garland greenery and kind of have it like shoot off the sides and stuff of the tier tray as well. So I'm going to just start scattering them around. I kind of like to work in one direction where they're all kind of going out in the same direction. And just make that look a little bit fuller. I like the effect that, you know, where it's kind of like going over the sides of it a little bit. And I did do a carrots and bunny Easter tier tray last year. Similar, but this is different, all different items. So check out these great carrots at the Dollar Tree this year. This one is like an orange, like burlap color. It's got like a green felt greenery at the top. It does have a hanger on there, so I just chopped that off. But I do like the little twine bow at the top. And so I think this is going to be perfect to get us started here on the top tier of our tier tray. Just going to simply place that in there with the greenery kind of hanging out the side like that. Okay, these are my dollar spot finds from Target. They have these, they call them a prop pack, $3, and you get all 3 items. They used to call them like a tier tray starter kit, which basically is what they are. And I got a little carrot farm sign, a little bag of carrots, and a little farm fresh truck with carrots in it. But I want to use these first. Aren't these adorable? 5 little carrots, like in a burlap bag. And I think it's going to be perfect for the top tier because it's nice and little. I can kind of prop it up against the pole there. So cute and so easy. Thank you, Target. Another Target dollar spot find is this adorable little bunny. It was $3. I love the texture on it. I love the colors. It's very neutral. Doesn't like have any eyes or nose or anything like that. So it's kind of abstract looking. And I don't have to do anything to this. This is just perfect for the vibe I want to go for this Easter bunny and carrots tier tray. So he's a nice size for the top 2. He's not too big. And he's kind of standing up, kind of looking over the edge of the tier tray. So we're going to put him right there. This is the other prop pack that I got at the Target dollar spot for $3. These are a great bargain because, you know, they come down to $1 a piece. And so even cheaper than the Dollar Tree sometimes. This has got a little happy Easter house. It's got this little bunny. And it's got some carrots that are super cute. So the little house is a little colorful for what I'm going for today, but I think we can make these work for this tier tray. And the carrots are kind of flat. I didn't really think they were large enough to kind of stand on their own on this tier tray. And I'm not really digging the colors on the Happy Easter. So I was thinking maybe we could like combine the two together and make something cute with the 2 of them together. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to cut the twine off of that and just flip it over, and we're going to decorate the back. I thought we could do a similar paint job that we did on the Easter Bunny, using some white acrylic, just working in one direction and letting a little bit of the brown show through. It's going to kind of make it look a little bit more rustic, and just paint this white. There's not really going to be a lot of room once I attach the little carrots to it for writing or anything like that. So I thought that would just be it. Just a simple little house with some carrots on it. It's just going to be a really cute size and something really cute to go on the tier tray and super easy. So we're going to put this on the top as well, between our little bunny and our carrot over there. So cute. Now, this one I actually got at Walmart for $1.98, and normally don't shop there, but I happened to be in there and this caught my eye, and it was only $1.98. I thought it was really cute, and it kind of adds a different element because the carrot's like not orange, it's not fabric, so it's going to give me like a little bit more texture, but it is nice and small, so I thought that would work well up here at the top tier as well, where I have less room. I'm just going to kind of sit it in there. Super cute, loving all of the textures and colors together. Now I wanted to do like a garland for the top, and look at these little mini carrots from the Dollar Tree. You get 18 in a package. They are made out of like foam, and I thought it'd be really cute to like string carrots along twine, and then we could tie that around that top tier to make a little garland to go around it. So I measured out a piece of twine that was long enough to go around my top tier with a little bit extra so that I could tie it. And I thought like every 2 inches would be good. So just using my ruler and a Sharpie, I am just putting little dots on there so I'll know exactly where to attach the carrots. A little bit of planning on this one, but it did make it go easier to attach them. So I think I'm going to be able to use like all but like one carrot in that package. I don't remember them having these carrots before, these little tiny ones. They might be new this year. And so I'm just going to do a dot of hot glue and just kind of glue that to the greenery that's at the top. Maybe a little bit to the foam, but you know, hot glue and foam don't work too well together. So I was trying to focus like on the little greenery part that comes out and having the little carrot dangle down. So this might work better with like a fine tip hot glue gun with like mini glue stick or something, because this hot glue gun like gives you a lot of hot glue, but we're going to make it work. I'm trying to do like the smallest dots possible. And using my little finger protector from the Dollar Tree so that I don't burn myself. And we're just going to keep stringing. I'm trying to keep kind of them all going down the same direction. I don't want them to look too crazy once we get them all strung on there. But I did a different kind of version of a carrot banner like this last year on my tier tray, where I used burlap and used those little adhesive felt carrot stickers to make a garland, and that turned out really cute as well. I like the 3D vibe of this though, that there's really no like banner. It's just like little miniature carrots hanging down. I love anything miniature. So I was able to use 17 of these before I ran out of room. And they're pretty cute. They're pretty perfect. Some of them have like some little dents in them or stuff like that, but pretty close to perfect. So we're just going to string these around and tie them off on the side. The like twine gives you another like earthy element, and the little carrots I think look really cute up here. They're so small that they're not going to really interfere with anything on the bottom tier as well. So this is a great option to decorate your top tier. Okay, our next DIY, I'm just going to use one of these little glazed pots from the Dollar Tree. You get 2 of these in a package, and I had 1 left over from a previous spring DIY. And then I picked up some of these little fabric carrots from the dollar spot at Target for $3. They're super cute. And they're a nice small size. They have green felt for the greenery, but you could always use the ones from the Dollar Tree as well. The little string wrapped ones are probably about the same size, but I really kind of like the plush feel of these. Now the greenery kind of like sticks together. So I was kind of like trying to like unfold it a little bit to give it a little bit more fun. And look how perfectly these fit in the little pot. And I think that's going to give you a great like carrot farm vibe. I thought it needed a little bit of greenery, so I'm going to use some reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree. And we're just going to fill in like the 3 little areas that have little gaps. And I also want some to kind of like go over the side to kind of give it that greenery feel. And I think that looks really cute. And how easy is that Easter DIY? It's going to fit pretty nicely down here. We're going to start decorating the bottom tier because we have the top tier all complete. And I think that looks really cute. Now, this is the only item that I have left over from last year. I got this at the Target Dollar Spot last year. It was so perfect that I kind of had to use it again. Just 3 carrots like strung together and orange, white, and like wood with little yarn greenery coming out. So I had it, so I went ahead and used it anyway. Now, this is another carrot decor from the Dollar Tree. This one's a little different. It is the orange with white polka dots, and it's like a kind of a cotton fabric. So I'm just going to cut off the tag and the hanger. It's got like the little twine bow on there again. Great greenery. But I thought the variety of different materials on these carrots would make it super cute. These are really nice for $1.25 from the Dollar Tree. Very nice size, and you don't have to bake them, so win-win. This is another bunny that I got at the Target Dollar Spot for $3. This is similar to the one that we used on the top, except for this bunny is laying down. So I wanted to, grab both of them just because they're so cute. Look how cute those are. I love them, and I think that's a great deal for $3. So we're going to kind of stand him up down here in front of that carrot, surrounded by greenery. I think he looks super cute. And then I got this at Dollar Tree. It is the orange carrot bead garland. It's so cute. It's got a little carrot on there, orange with a green yarn tassel. It's perfect for this theme. Now, this is the one I got last year. This is the one I got this year. So I kind of wanted to show you, they are a slightly lighter color this year, which didn't really matter, but I think I'm going to go with the one from last year. I think it's going to match some of my carrots a little bit better, but you could totally use the one from this year too. I'm just going to kind of loop it, kind of lay it in there. It's not real long, so I don't think it's long enough to go from like tier to tier. So we're just going to kind of toss it in there. Kind of like loop it and lay it down in there. It's going to provide a little bit of color. It's got a cute little carrot on there. Just a fun texture. I also got this cutie at the Target Dollar Spot, a little white ceramic bunny for $3. I have the larger version of this one that I used to make an Easter centerpiece that was super cute. So I kind of wanted the smaller one too. I thought it'd be nice to bring a little white bunny in to kind of go with the color scheme that we have here, because we have used a little bit of white. He's so cute. Okay, from that tier tray starter pack, remember the little truck with the carrots in the back that says Farm Fresh? I thought that would be a good addition down here on the bottom. And I have a little tiny bit of room here to the side of our bunny, and it's perfect for that little carrot truck. Now, this is the third and final large carrot that I got at the Dollar Tree. This is like an orange and white gingham. Again, like a cotton, super cute. So another fun pattern, but we're staying with that orange color scheme. And I think this one's really cute. This one looks very like farmhouse, but the gingham is also really sweet, I think, for Easter. So just cutting the hanger and tag off of that. And we're going to kind of lay this one on the bottom as well. Kind of trying to figure out exactly where I want it. I do kind of shift it around a little bit. And I think this is filling up really nicely. This tier tray was so easy to put together because of all these great finds. So this is a little carrot farm sign from the Target Dollar Spot from that thing as well. The colors are perfect. It's just the right size for a tier tray. So we're going to kind of work this in the greenery here, kind of by our little pot of carrots. And then this little bunny, remember it was from that first tier tray starter kit. It's just a simple little wood bunny. I think it's going to go great with all of the wood and colors that we got going on here. So I'm going to kind of work it in here. I want you to be able to read the Carrot Farm sign, so kind of off to the side. Super fun. And then I wanted to use a little bit of filler. I wanted daisies, but this is all I could find at the Dollar Tree was cosmos. So I thought I could get that same kind of daisy look because we have a white flower with a yellow center. And so I'm simply going to just pop these off. We're going to scatter these around. It's going to give me a nice little spring element mixed in with that Easter bunny carrot thing. And it's going to work as great filler for this tier tray. So anywhere I have like a little exposed greenery or I just need a little something, I'm just going to pop a little flower in there. And I think that gives a nice little touch. Brings a little yellow in. So we're going to do like 4 down here at the bottom. And the other 2 up here at the top.
So I always like to have a theme for my tier trays besides just the season. So the theme on this one is carrots and bunnies, and I love it on the wood tray. So many little fun finds. I love the bunnies in that. I've actually DIY'd one of those things for fall. They're actually a lot of work. And then carrots and flowers all over. There's so many fun carrots and stuff like that that you can find at Dollar Tree and Dollar Spot and stuff like that. And I think making a garland out of those little tiny carrots is a really fun DIY. I often struggle to figure out what to do with them because they're so tiny. But I love all of the colors on this. Very fun. This is on my kitchen table, and I think this was a perfect place for a bunny and carrot themed tier tray. What do you guys think about this one? I love all of the colors. I think it's just so bright and cheerful. And I think everybody is ready for some bright, cheerful spring right about now. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. It's now time for the final reveal. Let me know which DIY was your favorite down in the comments below, or just come say hello. This is my QR code if you would like to buy me a coffee. I really appreciate it. And you can find me at Crafty Beach on YouTube on all social media.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. I feel like the ocean. I can see you want this too. Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know. And I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. 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 Jump into the car on a Friday night. I wanna drive with you. Looking for a bar in the nearest town. I've never seen a sky so blue. We don't have a plan and the night is young. It doesn't matter what we do. There ain't nobody like. There ain't nobody like. You look so beautiful. And I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you.
Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's Easter crafting marathon. Hopefully you got lots of fun inspiration today for your Easter crafting. And I would also like to thank my YouTube members for supporting my channel. Thank you to Jamie Job, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, Maren Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Red Mama, Pal Puppy Life, Renee Albanese, Ginny, Debbie Austin, and Lizette Thomas. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you would like to join the membership, you're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube. Now, would you like even more Easter crafting inspiration? Be sure to check out one of these DIY videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting for Easter.